You've likely heard of the Knights Templar, the warrior monks of the Crusades. But what do you know about the men themselves? Today, we explore that very topic. Before the first whisper of dawn, while the world still sleeps in shadow, a different day begins. For the Knights Templar, the spiritual elite of the Crusades, the call of the bell isn't just to wake, it's to rise. To answer a vow that binds body and soul. These are the warrior monks, men sworn to poverty, chastity, and obedience. Their first duty each day, even before the sun crests the horizon, is to God. Multiple times a day, they gather, not as soldiers, but as brothers in devotion, their prayers echoing in the stone. For a Knight Templar, his horse was more than an animal. It was a comrade, a lifeline in battle. Each morning without fail, after their early prayers, the knights tended to their steeds. A healthy horse meant survival. This ritual, performed in stoic silence, forged an unspoken bond, a connection crucial for the life they led. These were men of God, yes, but first and foremost they were warriors, and in the Holy Land, survival demanded absolute mastery of combat. Hours were spent in relentless training, perfecting swordplay, lance charges, and strategic maneuvers. Every swing, every thrust, a prayer for victory, a lesson learned for the battles to come. Mealtime was not for conversation. The Templar rule demanded silence in the refectory, broken only by the voice of a brother reading scripture. Their diet, largely vegetarian and carefully portioned, was designed for health and discipline, not indulgence. Meat was a rare luxury. This austere fare, combined with strict hygiene, contributed to their remarkable endurance and longevity. Beyond the sword and shield, the Templars built a formidable economic empire. They were landowners, farmers, and most famously, the pioneers of international banking. Knights spent their days not just training, but meticulously managing vast assets, issuing letters of credit across Europe, funding crusades, and building immense wealth, a power that would ultimately lead to their downfall. Imagine fighting in 100-degree desert heat under the relentless sun of the Holy Land, burdened by over 50 pounds of steel chainmail. How did the Templars survive? It wasn't through magic, but through discipline and ingenious layering. First, the linen undershirt or tunic to absorb sweat. Then the padded gambeson. This thick, quilted garment wasn't just for cushioning blows. It created an air gap, a crucial insulation layer that prevented the chainmail from directly heating the body, much like modern thermal wear. It helped regulate temperature in both heat and cold. Then the chainmail hauberk and coif, weighing 30 to 40 pounds, this interlocking steel ring shirt and hood provided primary protection. Lastly, the surcoat, the iconic white tunic with the red cross. Made of thick linen or wool, its white color reflected the brutal desert sun, providing a vital outer layer of defense against heat stroke. It also kept the chainmail from heating up as quickly. Combined with their strict hydration discipline and the mandatory thick beards which offered facial sun protection, these layers allowed them to endure conditions that would fell lesser men. Every piece of equipment, from the innermost linen to the gleaming helm, was a tool for survival in the harshest environments. But it didn't stop there. There is the destrier, or warhorse. It too had to be powerful enough to carry over 200 pounds of man and metal at full gallop into battle, while also wearing its own protective barding. When you combine a fully geared knight with a protected warhorse, you're looking at a total moving mass of approximately 1,400 to 1,660 pounds. To a foot soldier on a medieval battlefield, this would have felt less like a man on a horse and more like a living tank. As night falls, the final prayers are said. The Knight Templar retreats into the monastic quiet, his body weary from training, his mind perhaps reflecting on the day's tasks, or the faces of fallen comrades. His life was a constant tension between warrior and monk, earthly duty and divine vow, a duality that forged an order unlike any other, forever etched in history and legend. They were the wealthiest, most disciplined force on the planet, accountable to no king, only to God. But in the end, their armor couldn't protect them from a debt they couldn't collect. On a single Friday in 1307, the most powerful organization in history simply vanished. We remember them as legends, but they saw themselves as servants. They were men who traded their names for a cross and their lives for a vow. Today, the castles are ruins and the ledgers are dust. But every time you use a credit card or see a soldier in prayer, you are walking in the shadow of the temple. The question is, what else did they leave behind that we have yet to find? Good night.